Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So today in this particular video, I am going to discuss how we can view different web interfaces hosted on Amazon EMR cluster. Okay, so in the big data world, we mostly use Elastic MapReduce to compute heavy ETL jobs in the AWS cloud, and there are different big data components which we can work in the web interface format. Just like one example, we many times use Hive web interface to run different hive commands and different other data sources also. To see the S3 files, we can use Hive as well, right? So in different scenarios, we might need to do that setup so that we can view different web interface, which is basically sitting in Amazon EMR master node. Okay, how to do that setup so that we can view those web interface and access those. Regarding that, I am going to discuss from scratch in this particular video. Okay, so we will go step by step. So what is the step one? Step one is we will create a key pair, which is obviously required to enter in Amazon EMR master node using SSH, and we will be creating some S3 bucket in the same region just to do some experiments. Okay, so first step, we will be going to AWS Management Console, and then we will be going to EC2, and then here what we will try to do, we will go to keypair section. Okay, so here if you see, that is, here is the keypair, and this keypair section will be enabled, and then here you can create the keypair. So here I can give the name demo web interface testing YT. Okay, I will be keeping that note here in the notepad. Okay, right, and then here ppk file I want to generate, because ppk file is required to enter in the EMR using SSH, so I will create this keypair. Okay, now what is the next step? We will try to create some S3 bucket in the same region of our EMR. So let's consider the region in which we are going to do this experiment is Ohio region. So we are going to create S3 bucket in Ohio. Okay, so here our keypair is created. I'll be going to that and see we are in Ohio region only. So if you just click on this, here you can see Ohio is US is 2, right? So now here I will be searching for S3. I will be going to S3 and I will be creating a bucket for our S3. Okay. YT web interface demo. Okay. And this Ohio region is selected. Keeping all other properties as default, I will create the bucket. Right. So these two steps very simple. Now in this step 2, what we are going to do, we are going to basically launch an EMR cluster. Okay, we will be keeping some specific application, Hadoop, Hive and Hive. Hive is basically that web interface which we will try to enable, right, to run some Hive queries. Okay, so you can choose something else as per your requirement, no problem. So here, once my bucket is created, I will be going to in a new window, I will be going to AWS Management Console, and I will be going to EMR. Okay, and then here I will go to create cluster. Okay, I will go to advanced option, and then here EMR, this one only we are choosing, Hadoop, Hive, Hive, Pig. Pig is not required, right? So with these three, we will be trying to do that setup. And if required, you can choose something else. If you want to work with Spark or Scoop, those things you can choose as per your requirement. Okay, and then keeping these properties default, I will go to next, right? Keeping these two also default, master node, core node. Okay, and then here I will go to next. Logging I don't want. Termination protection also no, not required. So demo YT web interface. Okay, some name I am giving to my EMR cluster. Okay, and then I will go to next, and then here I have to choose the key pair. Okay, so this is the one what we created, right? It is demo web interface testing YT. So if you see, demo web interface testing YT is the key pair, so we have chosen that, and with this, keeping all other properties default, we will create the cluster. Okay, so we have to wait little bit. It might take up to 20 minutes to launch the EMR cluster. Okay, depending on your configuration. So we need to wait little bit, and once the cluster from starting stage after bootstrapping, it will be reaching to waiting state, then I will again start my discussion. Okay, so let's wait till then. by that time you can just keep on refreshing this particular place to understand whether the cluster is up and running or not, right? So I will skip this particular portion until this cluster is pinned up, and then I will again start discussion. Okay, it is taking some time. Let's see till then. So here in the summary section you can see lot of things. This is our public DNS which we'll be using to log in the master node with SSH, right? So here you can see application user interface. So if you just click on that, here basically it is explaining how if you want to see some application, if it is running in web interface version, how you can follow that. Okay, so for that what we have to do, we have to first open an SSH tunnel in the Amazon master node. So what is tunnel, let me discuss first. So tunnel is nothing but, here I have written the description, that is tunneling is a protocol that allows secure movement of data from one network to another network. Okay, very important. So basically you can think like this way, that is, if you observe this particular diagram, it will be much clear. Suppose you are having your network here and another network in some other place. In between that there can be public internet network, cloud is there. Then if you want to securely send the data packets from one to another, then what you can do, you can create a secure tunnel. Okay, how in between hills different tunnels are there so that the train can simply go. Similarly like that you can think, in between different servers there are tunnels you can set up so that this in a secure way data movement will happen. Okay, so that steps it is explained here. So these steps we have to follow. So first what it is telling, download Putty. Yeah, we are having Putty, so we will log in with this one, that also will be doing. But here more important things, here if you take this step 2, here it is written download and install standard version for Foxy proxy. Okay, so we have to download that Foxy proxy extension, right? So here I will be going to this particular URL and then I will download Foxy proxy. So I will search for Foxy proxy, and then here Foxy proxy standard is there, and all I will do, I will click on add to Chrome. Okay, so here I will add the extension. Okay, and see it is downloaded, it is added. Okay, how to ensure that this particular stuff is added, let me show you that also. So here another window basically opened. What I will do, I will close this one, second one. So here if you see, if you go to this particular place, here you can see all the Chrome extensions available. Okay, whatever you downloaded. So if I go here, see here Foxy proxy is enabled. Okay, now we have to do some more modification here. If you see what it is telling, that restart the Chrome after installing Foxy proxy. Okay, so I will close all this, and here I will just click on leave. I closed all of them, and then again I will open Chrome. Okay, now what I will do, I will go to AWS Management Console first. Now here I will be going back to my EMR cluster to follow these steps. Okay, and to check whether our EMR is turned on or not. And if you check the next step, here we have to create some file and we have to upload, okay, in the Chrome extension. So we'll do that. So here see it is still in starting phase. If we just click on that, here you will be seeing something. If I just go to application user interface enable, here you see here in the text editor we have to paste this particular code and save this one as Foxy proxy -setting.xml. Okay, so we'll be doing that one also. I will copy this particular one. I will be going to Notepad. I will paste that and I will save this as Foxy proxy setting.xml. Okay. Right, I have saved this one. Okay, cool. And then what we will do, we have to upload this one. If we go to our steps here, see in the Chrome :// extension we have to update this one. Okay, so I'll be opening the new tab and I'll be going to Chrome :// extension. Here if I go to details, and then here I will go to extension options, and then here in the import or export section, first proxy mode, we have to choose the first option, use proxy based on their predefined patterns or priorities, and then here I will upload the file. Okay, I will add that, right? It is added. Okay, cool. So our steps is done. I can close, if required, I can close this particular window, no problem. Just make sure if you go to this extension and then if you click on this particular one, here in the Foxy proxy, use proxies based on their predefined pattern or priorities should be clicked, not the other options. Okay, right? And then I can close all these stuffs. I can close this one also. So this step is also done. And then what we will do, we will basically, we have already restarted the server. Okay, this step is also done. Now what we will do, we will set up the tunneling. Okay, right? So see, our cluster is in waiting state. Okay, right? And then if you go to these particular steps, here it is telling the steps which has to be followed. I will just follow that as it is, right, without any change. So as a first step, what I will do, I will go to this particular Hadoop EC2, this one, and I will try to log in with Putty, and then I'll paste that here. I will go to SSH, I will go to authentication, and I will browse the file, the one which we downloaded. And not only that, we have to go to tunnels, and then here it is saying 8157, we have to choose the source port, right? We will choose that 8157, and then here we have to also choose dynamic and auto. So we will choose dynamic and auto, right? And then we have to click on add, and then we can click on open. Okay, let's see how it works. So seems it is not working. So what can be the possible reason? Network error, connection timed out. Okay, the problem is we have not given SSH permission to the master node, right? So I need to go to security group for master, and then here if you see, this is the security group for master. I have to add the inbound rule for SSH. I will add that one. SSH and all IPv4 access. I'll save this rule. That is done, and now I will try to do the same steps again. I will just copy this particular one. I will go to Putty. I'll paste that here. I'll go to SSH and authentication. I will browse the file what I downloaded, the PPK file, and open the tunneling also. What is tunneling? I have already discussed. 8157 source port, and dynamic and auto I have set it. I'll add this particular one, and then I will open. Yes. Okay. And then here what I will do, so that the connection timeout will not occur, I will change the connection keypair life to 1000. Okay, that's okay, right? And now what should happen, we should able to access the hue interface. Okay, so how we can understand the hue interface? So just go to application user interface. Here you can see the hue link, right? So I will just click on go to hue link. It should work. Let's see. So we restarted the server, we uploaded the file, we added the extension, all these things, tunneling also done. And then here what we'll do, we'll go to Hue console and run some codes. Okay. So let's see whether Hue console is working or not. So here see, this particular Hue login window came up. So here what I will do, I will give some dummy user ID password just to use for this account. So I'll be giving hello world. I'll save this one, and password I can give hello world 123 something. Okay, right, and then here we can create the account. Okay, so here it is asking whether we need to save the password or not. No, I don't want to save the password, and I can close this particular one. And currently it is in MySQL, so if required I can change this particular one, not at all a problem. So if I go to table section, currently it is MySQL as you can see, but here I can choose basically Hive. Okay, and then I work with hive also, no problem. Here if you go to editor section, here hive is there, right? So you can change that to easily hive. Okay, and then here what we will do, we will try to run some code, right? So let's see. I have copied some code. I'll paste that in Hue console. Okay, so first what we are doing, create database if not exist hello world. Okay, right? So here let me check EMR is on or not. Yes, EMR is on. Now I can give, or maybe let me give first database. Okay, create database if not exist first database. Okay, so here see it is successfully created. And then here what we are doing, we are creating an external table. Okay, let me show you the data for external table. So this is popular IDs dataset I have taken, which is first column is integer, next 4 columns are double type, and last column is basically string type. I'll upload this data in my S3 so that I can access it and create some external hive table on top of it. Okay, so here I will go to S3. And then here this particular one what we created, we will click on upload, we will add some files in it. Okay, all files I'll be uploading, and I will click on upload. Okay, once that is done, what I will do, I will choose this particular URL, I will go to Hue editor, and here in the location I'll be pasting this one. Okay, so let's run this particular one, external table. So it is throwing an error, and what is the reason of the error? Let's see. That is basically this particular place is not a directory, unable to create one. Okay, so it requires some directory in the external table, so we will not specify the complete file name, rather we will create just a directory. Okay, and see it is successful, pretty good, right? And now what we will do, we will do select star from this database I will be pasting, and then dot hello CSV. Okay, if we do select star, we should able to query the S3 data. So see, ID sepal with petal length and petal width and class name. Okay, so we are perfectly getting. Now what I will do, I will try to process some amount of data. So for that I will create another bucket here. Okay, process data, and the region I am keeping same as of EMR so that access will be maintained. Okay, here this bucket name already exists, right? So process data from queue. Okay, here I will create the bucket in the same region. Okay, so let's try to run some more queries. So first query I can run count one maybe. Let's check. So if I go to Hue and then here select count one from database name dot table name, let's see what output we are getting. So if you see this particular file, it is having actually how much data? It is having 150 rows basically, right? Like if you see the ID, the maximum one is 150. So if I run that one count one, here actually we are getting error. What is the error? Let's see. Let's expand this particular place and let's try to explore the error. So select star worked, but select count one is not working. Why? We have to explore that one. Completed execution failed. Error, failed execution, return code 1. What it is telling? For the Apache Hadoop Hive QL execution is Java security access controller. Okay, so access issue is happening. So let's see that. See, caused by org Apache, Hadoop IPC, remote execution, permission denied. Okay. So what is happening actually, whenever Hive query you run, it is basically map reduce. So in the intermediate stage, it basically try to write some data in temporary location or something. That time while writing, it is getting errored up in the user folder. Okay. So what we need to do for this particular hello world user, we need to create some space so that they can use this particular location, okay, to store the temporary results. So for that, what I will do, Hadoop fs mkdir user, and the user name what we created is hello world, right? So I'll be choosing hello world and I will create a directory under user folder, okay? And once we create that, it is done, and we will use chown command and we will give the ownership to the hello world username. Okay, so this particular folder we created user hello world, and that one we are giving to hello world user. Okay, so that the ownership we are granting to hello world user, so that whenever hello world user will try to execute something, he or she can use this particular bucket to store the temporary result and work with it. Okay, so this is another important step which you need to remember. And once that is done, now I should able to run select count one. Let's see. So it is running. It is just going to take some time. Sometime it happens. But see here you can see map reduce job started, right? So map reduce is complete and count 151 it is giving. Perfect. Okay. Now what we will do, we will try to apply some more data processing logic, like for example, select distinct class name. Suppose I want to get, then I can put this kind of query, select distinct class name from hello world CSV. Okay. So let's run this particular one. Actually the database name I changed. There is basically fast database. Let me run that one. Here also it will be fast database. And then if I run, here's column name fast database. Select distinct class name. This is here I can give simple distinct class. Let's see. So here again map reduce started, and then see ID Setusa, ID is Farchinica, ID is Farsicolor. So these are the three distinct class name present in ID's dataset, right? So that's what it is giving us. Now what we will do, we will try to create another table, but before that let's see one more query. That is this particular one, select class name count one as count value from hello CSV group by class name. So here I can give the database name also, no problem. Let's see how many counts are there against each. So here it is throwing some error. Select class name count of one as count value from first database hello CSV group by. Here after group and by there will be a space, and then here again our map reduce is started. Okay, and then if you see here the data is perfectly coming. So Setosa flower 50 count, Versicolor flower 51 count, and Farchinica 50 count. Okay, I'll be providing the dataset also. You can do this kind of experiment with different dataset. So what you are getting that this way I can run any Hive queries in Q editor. Okay, now what we will do, we will create another table in the same database, which is an external table, and then here I'll be giving the name first database.aggregate result set. Only I'll be storing the class name and count value, and basically the S3 path this time I'll be choosing this processed one. Okay, so there we are going to store our result set slash. So inside that our result set data we want to store class name and count value. Okay, and then let's just run this particular one. So here you can see MapReduce started and it is successful. Okay, and now what we will do, we will insert some data from the first table to the second table. Okay, and that query is very simple. Again, insert into first database dot aggregate result set, that is the second table. What we want to insert, select class name and count value from first database dot hellocsv, that is our first table, group by class name. Just whatever group by distinct we have seen, that result set only we are planning to store. So here you can see our MapReduce is started, MapReduce is running. It will insert the data in the S3 folder. See, it is successful. So if I go back to my S3 bucket and if I refresh this particular place, here see data is there. Okay, so if I click on that and then if I download the data, so I can click on show in folder and then let me edit with Notepad++. Here see ID set also 50, ID is Versicolor 51, ID is Virginica 50. Okay, even you can basically view the S3 data from Hue editor itself. You can go to S3, okay, and then here you can see Blue Demo YT, process data from Hue, and YT, okay, web interface demo. All these different buckets are there. So if I go to process data, here see 00, same file is there, right? If I go to our root, if I go to first bucket, here see all files says what we uploaded in the beginning, that is there. So the thing is, using this Hue interface, you can basically view the S3 folder structure also. That is another very important advantage. Okay, and we have seen how to do the setup. Only remember this, whenever you are creating a new user ID, password kind of stuff, new login, then what will happen, that is basically you have to execute these two. So that under user folder, for that particular user, you can give some space and grant the ownership to that user for that particular folder, so that while running the Hive or MapReduce in the intermediate stage, whatever result it has to be stored, it can store there. And we have seen how to set up the connection with Foxy Proxy, right? Not only that, you can see here yarn server also, that complete one. Okay, here you can see HDFS name node, and here you can see different stuffs also, like just if I go to HDFS name node, you can view that. Okay, because you enabled from Foxy Proxy, you can view different stuffs. Okay, so see here you can see that, right? And then yarn timeline server also, here you can see all the applications whatever you have ran, right? See, this kind of Hadoop console is there. Here you can see user is hello world who ran some code, right? Here is the application, unique application ID is also there, and then here whether that is failed or passed, all this information you can get, might be from there. You can see here that user ran Hive. Okay, application type is Tez engine basically they are using, right? So these different kind of, for tracking purpose and auditing purpose, you can use this interface, and some other interface for resource manager also you can get HDFS data node, node manager, all these different application user interface you can view. Only thing is you have to set up the Foxy Proxy and basically upload this particular file, Foxy Proxy -setting.xml. Okay, and once the experiment is done, don't forget to terminate the cluster, otherwise it might incur unnecessary cost to you. Okay, so I'll terminate that. This is all for this particular video. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share and comment. Subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed till now, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. Thank you.